All right, let's dive into something that's got the automotive world buzzing, the all-electric GWM Wey V9X. But before we get into the specs, let me just say, this isn't just another electric SUV. What makes this really interesting is how GWM is positioning itself in the premium market, especially in China, where competition is fierce. Personally, I think this move could be a game-changer for them, but let's break it down. First off, the V9X is massive, 5.3 meters long, to be exact. That's not just big, it's flagship big. And here's where it gets intriguing. GWM is targeting the luxury segment with a 6-seat layout. In my opinion, this is a bold move because luxury SUVs are a tough nut to crack, especially when you're going up against established brands. But what many people don't realize is that GWM has been quietly building its tech stack, and this SUV is a showcase of that. The dual motors, with peak outputs of 220 kilowatts and 320 kilowatts, give it a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour. That's not just fast for an SUV, it's fast, period. If you take a step back and think about it, this is GWM saying, we're not just here to compete, we're here to lead. Now, let's talk about the battery. It's a nickel-cobalt-manganese ternary lithium battery from Svold Energy, which is GWM's own affiliate. This raises a deeper question. How much of GWM's success here is tied to its vertical integration? Personally, I think this is a huge advantage. By controlling the battery supply, they can potentially cut costs and innovate faster. But here's the catch. The driving range and battery capacity haven't been disclosed yet. That's a detail I find fascinating because it leaves room for speculation. Are they holding back to build hype? Or is there something they're still fine-tuning? Either way, it's a strategic move. What this really suggests is that GWM is playing the long game. The V9X isn't just an electric SUV, it's a statement. It's built on their new Global 1S platform, which they're using for both the V9X and the V8X. This modular approach is smart because it allows them to scale quickly. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The V9X is positioned as an AI-powered luxury vehicle. That's not just marketing speak. It's a hint at where GWM sees the future of driving. From my perspective, this is where the real battle will be fought. Not just in range or speed, but in how seamlessly tech integrates into the driving experience. One thing that immediately stands out is the interior. A large dual-screen setup and zero-gravity seats? That's not just luxury, that's next-level comfort. But what makes this really stand out is the closed dual-chamber air suspension and large-angle rear-wheel steering. These aren't just features, they're a statement about how GWM views the driving experience. In my opinion, this is where they're trying to differentiate themselves, not just as a tech-savvy brand, but as one that understands what premium buyers want. Now, let's talk about the market dynamics. GWM's domestic sales are down, but their overseas sales are up by over 50%. That's a huge contrast, and it raises a question. Are they shifting focus? Personally, I think they're trying to balance both. The V9X is a flagship, but it's also a test bed for technologies that can scale globally. If you take a step back and think about it, this could be the beginning of GWM's global premium push. So what's the takeaway here? The Wey V9X isn't just another electric SUV. It's a strategic play by GWM to redefine its brand. From my perspective, the real story here isn't the specs, it's the ambition. They're not just building a car, they're building a narrative. And whether they succeed or not, one thing's for sure, the automotive world is watching. What do you think? Is GWM onto something here? Or are they biting off more than they can chew? Let me know in the comments below.